quince. So this weekend I'm hoping to make at least the quince chutney, which combines these quinces with some scrumped apples. Don't mind our very dirty floor. The apples are not looking the best, and I need to do something with them quite soon. You can see there's a bug crawling around in that one there. But yeah, so scrumped apples and quince makes quince chutney, and hopefully also quince jelly will happen as well. It reminds me, I've got to buy some fresh muslin. Kat, meanwhile, is planning to turn these into chilli jam. So that's a good use of those chilies that we don't know the variety of, that should have been Scotch bonnets. And we have quite a few of those chilies, really. So this tray here I'm supposed to turn into a ferment, I think. We'll see. I think it's a good use for it. This here is some jalapenos that I'm going to pickle in a jar. And this is our last harvest basket from last weekend. The tomatoes are ripening up, next passata, I guess. And there's some various capsicums there. Some of them I think are beaver dam chilies, which we were hoping to turn to gochugaru. Dry them and flake them, basically. And others should just be sweet peppers and such. And that there is what our passata looks like in our weck jars. So that's last weekend's passata cook. What's that? That's about, I think they're about 1.5 kilo each. So that's 6 kilos of passata right there. It might be 1 kilo. I have to check that. So it's either 4 kilos or 6 kilos. We've got quite a lot of passata this year in general. And we still have zucchinis kicking around the kitchen. Anyway, that's my quick roundup of what we've got lying around the kitchen. And as you've seen in the background, it's a bit of a mess as well. We're doers, not cleaners. No, Kat has not torn the heart out of someone's chest. That is one of our Jersey Giant tomatoes, blanched and peeled. And it's pretty amazing. It looks like it has veins. It looks like it should be beating. But nope, just a tomato. Spices. So this is what's going in our quince chutney. I'm calling it quince chutney. It's only a little bit quince, really. Nearly 600 grams of quince in it for 3.3 kilos of total fruit. For the spice mix, we have ginger, star anise, coriander seeds, black peppercorns, black cardamoms, mace, and there's actually some cloves hidden down there too, about 12 cloves. The recipe we use is the Hugh Fenley Weddingstall, one of the River Cottage books, like the River Cottage Year, gluttony recipe. Also in the Pam Corbin River Cottage book. So I basically add all the fruit together, and then I scale the amount of sultanas, vinegar, water and sugar based upon the amount of fruit that went in, which is roughly along the same lines as what's in the gluttony recipe, but there's always a bit of fuzz and I like to scale the other ingredients. I'll put up on the screen what the breakdown of the ingredients in this actually is. So I'm going to tie this into a little bouquet garni in this bit of muslin and plunge it into the middle of that big pot of future chutney. Now we just simmer that for 2 to 3 hours. Well, it's 6:30 p.m. twilight allotment visit on Tuesday, the I think 22nd of October. This week's allotment postcard is likely to be on the shorter side, as we didn't go to the plots at all on the weekend. It was a bit drab and dreary, but also my allotment time on the weekend pretty much went into making preserves, and we made a pile of chutney, some quince jellies, some pickled jalapenos. So we have been busy, just not on the plot. So we've not seen the plot for over a week, I think, or something like that. It's been a while. Hopefully everything's still here. Should be. I've got my little torch on my phone. I'm here to grab some bits and pieces to go with a quick pizza dinner we're having, which is going to be pizza made with pita breads or flatbreads, tortillas is the word I'm looking for. So out of here I'm going to grab a bit of basil and some dill. There's plenty of chillies I could grab too, but I don't really think we want too many chillies. I'll grab a small handful of mid-strength ones. Yeah, what's going on in the greenhouse? Yeah, I can see a little bit more colour happening in a few places. Still not as much as I'd like. I was hoping most of these ones here, the madrevejas, that doesn't really work with the light, does it? But there would be yellower. Unfortunately not. We'll see. We'll see. We get what we get, and we'll be thankful for what we get. Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to do my little quick harvest and then head off. And there's the little harvest I just got. The Genovese basil's pretty much gone. Or was it Napolitana basil? I'm not sure, but yeah, not liking the cooler weather. It's a bit of purple. That's still kind of kicking along. The cinnamon basil's actually looking pretty lush. I must like the colder weather. Not my first choice for some pizza, but it's what I've got. Bit of bronze fennel and some dill. We've got some salmon and prawns, so they go nicely with the dill and the fennel on a pizza. Right, off home time. It's 20 to 3 on Sunday, the 26th of October. Tomatoes are still ripening, which is pretty cool. We've had some warmish weather, not entirely sunny. And obviously today it's raining. You may be able to hear that in the background. But we're here mainly just to harvest some tomatoes and some chillies. As you can see down here, our Thunder Mountain Longhorns, a good number of ripe ones down there, which we'll pick. And some good Kashmiri Mirch as well. And yes, Kat just pointed out behind me, great big bullhorn pepper slash capsicum. There's a few in there. You can see some other red shapes in amongst the leaves. So that's good. We've got more of them. Some of them may be the beaver dams we bought for making gochugaru. And some of them are probably just sweet varieties. Unfortunately, without looking at my map, which I've lost somewhere, it's hard to work out which is which without tasting them. And there's some nice little golden tomatoes up here. Though we're not happy with this variety this year, we'll hopefully find some golden croon or gold croon seeds for next year, because that's the variety we used to grow that was a lot better. Yeah, that's the polytunnel. That's how that's looking. And I'm going to swing around and wander off to the greenhouse. So we've got some more ripening in the greenhouse, so that's good to see. There we go. Some more stripies are ripe. Probably the last year we'll bother growing the stripies. They're fun and all, but they're not the most exciting chili. It's good to see we've got some ahi mangoes ripening, though I don't think we're going to get enough for making that tasty ahi mango powder this year, sadly. Those madrevejas I've been crossing my fingers for are gradually ripening up, and I think we'll just basically give everything in the greenhouse here until the cold weather kills it. Yeah, I'm 2 weeks behind on the old allotment postcards right now, and I think I'm going to reduce the cadence of them for the winter. I think weekly's just been a bit too much, and maybe that's the case in general. These are just for fun and family, really. But I have at the house been collecting some leaves. So the landlord has given me access to the lawnmower and the leaf vac blower that the maintenance woman used to use before she left. It turns out leaf vac blowers are bloody useless. It's this Hyundai thing here. That was like half an hour of trying to vacuum stuff up has barely filled that bag. Going over with the lawnmower turned out to be the better strategy. So big drifts of leaves with a lawnmower, rake to pull them into place. But it started raining, so I stopped. But look, we got a good amount of stuff. I've just noticed the back fence has once again blown down. That was kind of expected. Annoying, but there you go. I don't know how it's managed to fall that way. That's strange, but I'll have to go have a look. But I suspect it's mostly just down the ditch. I'm staying in the greenhouse and out of the rain for now. But yeah, I'm going to reduce the video cadence. I'm 2 weeks behind. I think I may have already said that, but yeah, I'm 2 weeks behind as it is. So this one will probably come out in November, despite it being the 26th of October right now. But I just kind of want a bit more time to do some things rather than trying to edit video, really. And the days are shorter, and I mean, in theory, maybe that means I've got more time inside in the dark. I could be editing more videos, I don't know. But then there's less time to film them. It's going to be, now that the daylight savings has shifted in the UK, it's going to be dark when I leave home and dark when I get home. So the weekdays are just dead now. I mean, still got work from home Wednesday. We'll see what that brings us. If we get a nice sunny Wednesday, I can always nip out here for a lunchtime visit. I'm pointing at the tomatillos right now, which are just sort of straggly and kicking along out there. Bean plants and stuff over there. Yeah, we were going to harvest potatoes from down the side of the polytunnel today, but I think the rain just means we'll leave that for another day. They're happy in the ground for now. And we've really got to start thinking about winter crops. One of these yucky blues is ripening up. They're not all staying blue. They taste better when they're a bit ripe and they get a bit of a fruitier flavour, we found. We'll see how it goes. But yes, we need to be thinking about winter crops some more, but oh, my heart's not in it right now. Just a bit, this season gets me down. Anyway, I'm going to go help Kathleen harvest tomatoes and chillies in the polytunnel. Well, it looks like something's been living in the top of that Dalek, which we're going to use as, these are our leaf mould bins. So that one's got last year's leaves in it. This will have the shredded ones I collected today in it. And then this is empty still. Hopefully this year we'll actually fill them all up. That's the plan. So that's taking a peek into last year's supposed leaf mould. But I think it's actually been a bit dry in there and not compact enough, though I haven't dug down. What I have done is I've just poured some water into it. And then over here, that's my new leaf material. Good thing about using the mower and the vacuum, which is useless but does actually do this as well, is it shreds the material, which I'm hoping will actually mean we get better leaf mould faster out of this process. We shall see in a year or so. And that there is today's harvest. Not bad, considering it's nearly November. And there has been continued clearance in here, so it's looking pretty bare now. I should be able to do a CCTV before and after, I think. But yeah, that's good. It's very wet outside, so we shall be making our way home now. That pear tree has lost almost all its leaves quite suddenly, and that one's looking pretty good down there. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Cat's just telling me the fence has fallen down. Okay, right. I think that'll do us for today. At least the compost has had a good feed, hey? Okay, one last video for the day. I've just given the top of the 7-pot Primo a bit of a shave to hopefully let more light down in to ripen some fruit that are down there. I was going to do some more over here, but there's just too much good fruit in the way that might ripen. We do have a decent little crop of nagas ripening up under there though, so that's good. Not much action on the Rocotos, alas, they need just a much longer season than we have allowed them this year, sadly. There are some fruit on there, but I just don't think they're going to get to where we want them, which is kind of like small apple size, and then you can stuff them, which I've done once 2 years ago, I think it was. But yeah, we've got some good ripening on our nagas here. So I'll be able to make a naga sauce. These are the non-spicy Trinidad perfumes. A few ahi mangoes, madreveja, and I have harvested a couple of first 7-pot primo. Supposedly one of the hottest chilies in the world. Unfortunately, that one's come a cropper, not looking the best. But I'll probably combine this, the super hots together into a sauce with some tomato and make a nice super hot sauce this year, hopefully. Just a cooked sauce, not a fermented one. Yeah, anyway, that does us for today, for real this time. Off home into the dry, but alas, still fairly cold. No heating on at the moment. We may do it, but it's still above double digits, so the heating stays off. What I totally forgot in the last video is to talk about how beautiful the rocoto flowers are. They're a pubescens chili, so they're quite furry, and you can see the hairs on the stem there, and the leaves are all furry as well. But that's got to be one of the top chili plant flowers out there. Isn't it beautiful?